What's good, everybody? It's Mr. Composition, the MC that writes fiction, back at it with another reaction. This is another fantastic hip hop video. So apparently, some rapper was defending Drake, and he's getting clowned. Now, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, notification bells on, so you don't miss when I drop a video on the road to 5K. So let's see what this is. Who's this rapper, and who's clowning?
Now, currently, we are witnessing one of the most ridiculous and pathetic debates that hip hop culture has ever seen, and of course, it all centers around Drake, and specifically, it's seeming like more and more every day that from his fans to his moles in the media to his own OVO crew, that there is an active group of people in hip hop who are trying to go into the history books of the genre and revise narratives in order to make Drake not just look like the winner or bigger person in his beef with Kendrick Lamar, but to redefine what competition in hip hop has meant for nearly 50 years. And now at this point, as every day online, from Big Act to OVO Mal to the Drake stands who can't get over the fact that he lost, I don't know if
Yeah.
people are actually starting to believe the narratives that they have been spewing out about the fact that Drake was a victim and that Kendrick took the beef too far, because as rappers and people who are not attached to Drake but are big players in the
Oh,
industry.
hold on. Kendrick took it too far, but Drake was the first one naming names. Kendrick took it too far, but Drake goes and gets and disrespects West Coast legends by getting them to do AI. What? Where is that? I mean, I've seen some of this. I've seen that maybe float around a little bit. Oh, Kendrick was the meanie. Oh, poor Drake. Man, Drake asked for it. Drake asked for it. He got what he got. That's not a hate. That's not. I'm hoping Drake downfall. If we're looking at it, it'll be the same thing. Come on now. Like, look at the football team. Look at the basketball team. Hey, Spurs went against the Lakers. Spurs won. So now all of a sudden you're gonna go and get at the Spurs for winning in a competitive sport. Y'all say hip hop is a sport, right? Hip hop is a sport. Drake asked for this. He's on wax asking for this. So let me hear. He's trying to play a
Revealed their
freaking
thoughts
victim.
on the beef between Drake and Kendrick. The sentiments we are starting to hear now are just absolutely ridiculous and crush the very spirit and DNA of everything hip hop culture has ever stood for. And now, the most recent big name to come out in hip hop and seemingly defend Drake and give his stands more fuel in their effort to revise what went down is none other than UK rapper Skepta. And now, in a recent interview he
Wow.
did with Ebro, the two were talking about the Kendrick and Drake beef and its implications on hip hop, and what Skepta went on to say surprised a lot of people because he said that the beef was actually bad for hip hop. And now, before we get into why he made this ridiculous take, be sure to subscribe and hit that like button, it helps me out a ton. And with that said, now, the main two reasons why Skepta said this battle put a stain on the entirety of the genre was, first off, because in his eyes, the disses that Kendrick and Drake were throwing out went way too far, and while Skepta sounded like he was calling out both of them for doing this at first, he specifically addresses Kendrick as being the one who broke the boundaries, as he said that when he heard one of Kendrick's diss tracks specifically, he just realized how much anger there was going into all of this and just how deep into.
Man, okay. Skepta, see, I mean, look, this is what I'll say. This is what I'll say. I don't know how stuff is over there in the UK. And I will give him the benefit of the doubt. I will give him the benefit of the doubt that he's unaware of hip hop politics as far as in the US. I will also give grace and credit that though I agree as far as the beef itself was going to places for sure that I felt that it definitely didn't need to go for sure. And I've spoken even on Wax myself about that particular type of energy and where that could have been put to hip hop and what could have, what could have been basically. But I will say that sometimes things just need to be done, like destroy and rebuild. And though I felt that way, the reason why I participated is because, and call me a hypocrite, it's because it's entertaining. It's something. It's just all like, yo, I'm a fan of Kendrick. I was a fan of Drake until several years ago. It just got to a point where it's just like everything was basically the same as far as subject matter. But I still held out hope and gave credit where credit was due when it came to Drake. You can look at reactions. I mean, you go to first person shooter. You can go look at a lot of the stuff. There was certain things, and on that track, like even prior to the diss, I was just all like, "Yo, Drake got smoked." I don't know why he allowed that on the track because J. Cole was not even playing around. Like, so and there was just a lot of people wanted to see people's reactions, viewpoints, thoughts on it still to this day. And so there was a lot of positive that came about it despite what was going on, despite the back and forth, but there was also things that was displayed. Didn't even know some of the things that he was able to do on tracks. Like Kendrick took stuff to another level. Like, of what was possible. Not that you want to sit up there and write a track lettering to everyone in their family that shows diabolical. But just the idea that you can do some shit like that. Oh man. Oh man. It's very interesting. Let me bring this microphone up. Damn, I can't believe I did this whole thing. The microphone on the ground. But yeah, no, it's very, very interesting. It's very, very interesting. But despite that, Skepta, it does make it soft, try to come to the defense of someone who wanted it, who wanted the smoke, who asked for it, was just all like, time's the ticking, haven't heard nothing from you, you know? So, yeah.
Bag of insults Kendrick was willing to go to tear down Drake. And then on top of this, and seemingly as a result of these disses being so serious and vain in his eyes, Skepta says that things were taken so far and such serious claims were made that they hurt not just their own reputations, but other rappers' abilities to work with major corporate entities and brands. And now, after Skepta said all of this, Drake fans just continue to run rampant with this narrative that Kendrick Lamar won this beef by breaking the rules of competition in hip hop and by pretty much cheating, which is ridiculous.
What? What? Oh, I haven't heard that. That is wild. Kendrick cheated? Now, they was trying to say the whole bot thing and Spotify, and it's just all like, sorry, you can't fake people doing dances in schools doing marching band routines and going to pretty much anywhere having the song play and people sharing it from here to other parts to having sports team reference it. Like, that can't be fake. So no matter what a Drake fan or a Kendrick hater wants to stay in that regard, that's something you can't deny. And that is represented in the numbers. That's something where, that plus these numbers that makes sense. Now, if it was something where the numbers were super, super low and people were knew about it, or well, let's say the numbers were super, super high, but then you went out and it didn't translate like that. That's when it would be like, okay, maybe there's something fishy as far as with that. But that wasn't the case. That was a 1-to-1. That was a direct result and a representation on how that track reached, you know. So it's crazy. Like, it's
And
crazy.
also just ignores the fact that Drake was the one who made this personal in the first place, and Kendrick warned him
Exactly.
multiple times that if Drake pushed it any further, he was gonna go even
Yep.
harder, and Drake kept going and
Yep.
going.
He
But
warned him.
despite all of these facts, people just took what Skepta said. And even big names in hip-hop media like DJ Academics acted like he had a point, as he also said that beefs like these could hurt rappers' chances of having major brand deals. And now what I have to say to all of this is that this is one of the most insufferable conversations we have ever had in hip hop. And what this
Yeah.
has become is the most pathetic way to try and ever save and course correct someone's own name and reputation. And of course, Drake, because first off, to quickly address Skepta's point about rappers losing out on working with brands because of this beef, which is going to ultimately hurt their bottom line at the end of the day, while maybe there is a world and a reality where this could have been true, if you just spend a second looking online and see what has been going on since the Kendrick and Drake beef, you would quickly find out that Kendrick Lamar is playing in an event called the Super Bowl, which last time I checked is the single biggest marquee cultural event in all of America, as it is the most
Yep.
watched thing on television every single year, and it is pulling in nearly a third of the entire US population in viewership. And with all the eyes on this event, it is also the single most funded event by brands, as everyone wants their name on something related to the Super Bowl, or companies want commercials that will give them the most exposure they will get all year. So if
Yeah.
literally not millions, but an estimated $20 billion goes into an event where outside of the actual football game being played, the halftime performer, who is Kendrick Lamar, is the face of, I think this whole argument about taking down names and hurting hip hop's chances to grow and get on bigger stages is just absolutely false. And it's blatantly ignoring the facts of what we have seen, because in all honesty, aside from what Kendrick did this year and all of the success he has seen from it, no rapper has been pushing their status forward this much in terms of the brands that they are teaming up with or the doors that they are kicking down. So for
Yeah.
Skepta to literally say that what Kendrick did closed a door on the rest of everyone else is just misinformed and incorrect, as what he has done is
Exactly.
clearly the exact opposite. As now Kendrick is
Exactly.
really showing the world just how far hip hop can make it under the right circumstances. And now to Skepta's next point about Kendrick's claims towards Drake just going way too far and going against the very nature of what hip hop stands for as an entity and art form, even more than the first comments, this is just a blasphemous thing to say, as it is ignoring 50 years of musical history and just fails to
Seriously.
recognize what is defined
You
every
think that,
single rap.
Kendrick was the most, in hip hop history for going quote unquote too far? Like, get out of here. See, that's why it's just all like he may not know the hip hop. He may only known as far as like what they seen and the most popular aspects of it.
This video is sponsored by yours truly, Mr. Composition, the MC that writes fiction. And for the month of October on my Mr. Composition Music YouTube page, I am doing one-shot music video a day. So for 31 days, there will be a new one-shot video, and the goal is to get that channel to 1,000 subscribers. So make sure to check that out, subscribe, show some love to the videos, and drop a comment, man. Let me know that you came from this channel. But anyways, guys, back to the video.
But I guess it is easy for you to, on the outside looking in with specific type of information, to say that, but you can't literally hear every track when it dropped in the, as far as the order that it dropped in this beef, and say that Kendrick's all the big bad boogeyman. He's the winner. And honestly, Drake just needs to sit down and take this L. Sit down and take the L. He's been doing everything else but taking this L, trying to rewrite history. You lost. And that's okay. That's not hating. That's not, anything like that. You lost. Like I said with the sports team, if the Lakers they lose, I mean, hey, or vice versa. If the Spurs lost, they lost. Get them next time. But as Kendrick said, they ain't gonna be. They ain't no. They ain't no round twos, son. They ain't no round twos. You're gonna have to go around the next. You're gonna have to get through all the preseason, all the everything like that before you then see if you even qualify. But I think Kendrick's beyond that at this point. He did what he needed to do, and and there's a dope freedom to how Kendrick moves, Um, but yeah, I mean, if you want to see the rest of this video, definitely, I'll leave it in the description, but let me know y'all's thoughts. And hey, again, these are thoughts, opinions, criticism. This isn't hate, you know, this isn't Kendrick glazing. Like, use y'all's head, not y'all's feelings in this. So listen to what's being said. But the ones that do, I appreciate y'all. Even the ones who have a difference in opinion, I appreciate y'all because you have a difference in opinion. You're not trying to shame or anything like that. The ones that just y'all are silly. Y'all, it's all I'm trying not to like get that block finger, but it is because I try to let everyone but it's like when you just come out the gate and it's like you didn't look at the video, you didn't hear anything, like that's when it's just all like block. But if you have something to add on or just a difference in opinion and you want to explain it, then hey, the comment section, I ain't gonna block you for that. I'm not blocking people for having difference in opinion or anything like that. But yeah, comment section's open, y'all. All right, peace.